Breaking Bad is arguably one of the best TV shows of all time, with many episodes that are still considered masterpieces today. Centered on the descent of Walter White, a mild-mannered school teacher, into life as the head of a drug empire, most of the Breaking Bad characters are flawed, making them both realistic and polarizing. The show has some exciting and explosive action scenes, but the best episodes of Breaking Bad tend to be character studies. From iconic speeches to scenes between the main characters that are both heartbreaking and hilarious, virtually every aspect of Breaking Bad has been praised, from the acting to the camera work, and the show still holds up today. 10. Fly. Season 3, Episode 10. Breaking Bad's Fly episode is a controversial masterpiece that divided viewers from the moment it aired. This bottle episode sees Walt channeling his guilt into an obsession with removing a fly from the lab. The majority of Fly takes place within the state-of-the-art meth lab, which gave Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul the chance to showcase their acting skills. There are plenty of moments featuring Breaking Bad's signature dark humor, but it also reveals more about the two main characters than any other episode, showing both to be in a very dark place. Fly may have less of the explosive action and nail-biting tension of other Breaking Bad scenes, but it has some of the best character development in the show. 9. Face Off. Season 4, Episode 13. Gus Fring, Giancarlo Esposito, looking shocked in Breaking Bad. Face Off is best remembered for Gus Fring's shocking death, but there's more to the episode than this moment. The entire episode is full of tension as Walt goes on a frantic mission to protect himself from Gus, only to discover that Hector Salamanca could be the unlikely answer. While it is difficult not to root for Walt, another twist is coming. Breaking Bad gives us one of the most disturbing twists in the series in the final moments of Face Off, when it shows that Walt has Lily of the Valley in his garden. This reveals Walt as Brock's poisoner, cleverly manipulating viewers just as Walt manipulates so many people around him. This brief moment is iconic, and totally changes the game. 8. Crazy Handful of Nothing. Season 1, Episode 6. Bryan Cranston as Walter White walking away from the scene angrily after blowing up Tuco's office in the Breaking Bad episode, Crazy Handful of Nothing. If there has been one criticism of Breaking Bad, it is that some viewers found it more of a slow burn. The slower pace of the first few episodes comes to an explosive end during Crazy Handful of Nothing, where Walt gives us a glimpse of his true potential. It is one of the first episodes that inspired a conversation about whether Walter White was always evil. Crazy Handful of Nothing is a masterclass in overcoming the odds, with Walt seemingly in over his head but with nothing to lose. However, this is deceptive, and shows that Breaking Bad was never going to be predictable. The episode gets viewers more invested in Walt than any previous installment, foreshadowing Heisenberg through the other characters' different reactions to his shaved head. 7. Live Free or Die. Season 5, Episode 1. The Junkyard Owner, Walter, Jesse, and Mike. The best episodes in Breaking Bad are generally excellent character studies that inspire several emotions within the same scene. No episode shows this better than Live Free or Die, which sees Jesse outthink some of the smartest characters in the show. Jesse Pinkman is a funny and quotable character, but is often underestimated because of his demeanor. While Walter and Mike are arguing over the best way to corrupt a laptop from afar, it is Jesse who suggests a magnet, growing louder as the two talk over him. Jesse's triumph when his plan works is a perfect contrast to the start of the episode, which shows the despairing Walt, clearly in a very different position in life. 6. Salad. Season 4, Episode 10. Gus Fring is the unrivaled best villain in Breaking Bad, and Salad proves this while being a true masterpiece of an episode. For a show like Breaking Bad, episodes set in a completely different location have the potential to feel mismatched. However, Gus and Jess's presence and demeanor keep the tone of the show consistent while revealing more about the mysterious businessman. Knowing that Don Iladio killed Gus's partner in the same spot where they are standing, Salad uses framing and camera shots to create tension. We know that something huge is going to happen, but we are not sure how until the last possible moment, when we find Gus willing to risk dying to get revenge. This develops his character even during the chaos. 5. 1 Minute. Season 3, Episode 7. Hank inspects Walter White's RV in Breaking Bad. Breaking Bad builds some episodes around one single moment, while others are a complex system of moving parts. 1 Minute has several high-stakes parts to it, both in the emotional sense and in a tense action scene that feels straight out of a spy movie. Keeping the episode this tightly woven showcases the skill of the writers as it sets up its cliffhanger. 1 Minute contrasts serious and painful injury with a much more theatrical scene, without making Breaking Bad feel disjointed. Jess's suffering through Hank's righteous anger leads to one of his most emotional scenes yet, while the silent Salamanca twins stalk Hank. The moment in the parking lot relied on characters making split-second decisions, and the episode was essentially perfect. 4. Dead Freight. Season 5, Episode 5. Breaking Bad train heist episode Dead Freight. One of the greatest strengths of Breaking Bad is the way that it switches genres without compromising the tone of the show. The episode Dead Freight is heavily influenced by westerns, and shows Walt and his team pulling off one of the greatest train heists in TV history. Even so, the episode still features subtle moments that show how Walt has become a monster. Walt gleefully tells Skyler that he is robbing a train, showing his enjoyment of his new life. An unbelievably dark scene that shows how the characters have changed is when Todd shoots the child. Jesse is horror-struck, showing that he has kept his empathy, while Walt starts strategizing. It comes as no surprise that this is Bryan Cranston's favorite Breaking Bad scene. 3. Crawl Space. Season 4, Episode 11. Walt laughs in the crawl space in Breaking Bad. While the entire episode, Crawl Space, is a masterpiece, it contains one of the most genius Breaking Bad scenes that we are still thinking about. Though Walter White is monstrous, watching his terror when Gus threatens his family is still heartbreaking to see. It does not get better for Walt, and Crawl Space leads into one of Bryan Cranston's best Breaking Bad scenes, when Walt finally decides to get Ed, the disappearer, to give his family new identities. All he needs is the money. However, Skyler has already given it to Ted. Walt's breakdown is both powerful and extremely disturbing, as he finally loses control. It is a genius contrast to the way that Skyler handles being blackmailed in the same episode.